Hey everybody, Invisiblekatana here with my unboxing of the limited run games TMNT Shredder's Revenge Radical Edition. It's been about a year, I think, since we got this. I mean, that's a lot of the pre-orders. I think Dead Space was the quickest one we've ever had as a turnaround, and that was also, I believe, the first game where they actually shipped the game out and then the extra stuff from the collector's edition came separately, because normally that doesn't happen, which is why I have two versions of Shredder's Revenge. So I have the PC version and now I have a PS4 version. Also, this is a little card they sent. Thanks for being rad. You guys can take that code if you want. I have no need for it because there's nothing that they got right now. Plus it's expensive. As much as I love Dead Space, I wasn't gonna get that helmet. It was too much money. Also, I got Mikey, personally, a Donatello fan, but I love all of them, so it's Ninja Turtles. But Donnie's always been my favorite. Also, Turtles in Time. This is also lenticular, so I love this thing. Amazing. Also, I have this little thing, which I think is going to be a great comparison for when we pull out whatever this arcade is going to be, because I knew it was going to be small. But I do have to start off by saying, holy crap, this is smaller than I thought. A lot smaller. I was like, when I looked outside, I was like, well, that can't be it. Maybe I'm just seeing it from like the long way and I'm not really getting the depth on it. And I was like, no, it's tiny. And there's like a shadow box in here and a little arcade. And then like steelbooks, and there's posters, although they always fold their posters, so it is what it is. We'll hop into it. I know they got all the stuff on the back of this, but here's the art. Super exclusive art, which looks really, really good. And I actually like the fact that it's cardboard print. I actually think I like that a little more than the glossy. I don't know, maybe because it makes it feel more like a comic book that is matte, so maybe that's why I like it more. But I actually really like that art. I think that's pretty cool. Of course, on the back it has all the stuff, so we'll do that. So if you want like, you know, slight surprises or whatever. I know most of what's supposed to be in here. I don't remember every single thing, but it's okay, it's not packed too bad. So we'll start with the big stuff. So don't know why I got the PS4 and not the PS5 edition. I got nothing. I don't know why I did that. I'm sure like it wouldn't have made a difference because I'm not gonna open this ever anyway. So yeah, this is exactly how I figured it was. So this is perforated, so you can open it and put it back in, but it is perforated, so you can have it, you know, in box, you know. I always forget what the heck they call it. It's a thing when you have figures and stuff in the blister packaging or whatever, you're keeping it like that, keeping it in the blister. But I think that's actually super cool. I do kind of wish I got the PS5 version now though, and that's solely because I actually really love like just the white on top. I actually think that looks way better. Well, let me know your thoughts on that. I only thought about that when I realized I got the PS4 version. I was just like, man, I like the blue, but the white just looks so much cooler, the white with the black text. But I think this is nice. So this is, of course, the turtles at the top, heroes in the half shell. I should have mentioned this in the beginning, but this is a 420 unboxing. That's why the baked sushi's back there. I'm high. But yeah, I think this is pretty cool. We got the turtles. Obviously, can't wait for the DLC. But we got the turtles, we got April, we got Splinter. April is 100% my favorite. Like her and those high-flying kicks. Absolutely ridiculous. This is also very cool. On the back we got all the characters, some of which we will in a way be playing as with this new DLC coming up. So they got them in there. We can't pick them yet, but they're in there in an unlockable way. So I'm like, are they just moving towards having the characters, you know, officially be in there with Shredder and stuff? Also, I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's like a little, you can't really see the reflection, but there's a bend in mine, a crease. You know, it sucks, but I wasn't like losing my mind like it has to be perfect. I'm not gonna open it, but you know, there it is. Boom, PS4. So I think that's very cool. I like it. I like it a lot. I have to say, first off, I love that this isn't like the plastic. It's that thick plastic, where it's like it makes you feel like you got something really important because it's plastic that has tape at the end. But this is really nice. It's a shadow box, which I'm so stupid. I already have one of these. Secondary comparison. Oh, okay, that's trash. I thought those were more ninjas at the front. I'm like, what is that? It's trash. I love the way this looks, and now I have to go get my other one. So, for comparison's sake, I got too much turtle stuff. That's not a bad thing, but I'll be right back. All right, so here is, actually, here we go. Boom, got that off of Etsy, Retro Games Crafts. I don't know if he's still that person. I believe it's a guy. Don't know if they still do the turtle stuff, but you know, check them out if you're interested. It's on Etsy. Got this a while back. Look at that. That's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. I like it. It's kind of the classic Sprite sort of deal, you know, old school sort of classic. This though, I can't lie, looks really nice. And I think it's due to the fact that it's not just, oh man, the shadows are even, you know, if you have it at the normal angle, their shadows are actually, I didn't realize that. You guys probably did. I didn't. I'm high. Happens. but I love how this looks. It's like they're really floating. Like they're really floating in there. It's like they're on 2 separate planes of glass. And that just looks really good to me. It's some old school Disney type stuff where everything's on separate frames. But this is amazing. I absolutely love it. Like this would be so good if it had a little light strip like right at the bottom. It would have to be like a really hazy one so it doesn't like stick out, but a tiny itty bitty little light like just along the bottom to just light it straight up. That would be sick. I would love to see somebody do an edit. I'm not gonna take the time to do that, but that would be amazing if this had like just lights around it, or maybe in the 4 corners or something. But I think one good strip at the bottom would be perfect for this. I think that'd be amazing. But love this. This actually looks really, really cool. It's very lightweight. It's very lightweight. So definitely, I didn't think I'd be that impressed. I'm not gonna lie. Shadow boxing is like, okay, you know, it's cool to get a shadow box. I actually love how this looks. It's like the modern day sprites and stuff. It's literally like an upgrade of this, solely based on the fact that that's based off the old game and this is based off the new game. So they use like different tech to display that. So I love that. That's really, really cool. So absolutely amazing. That's genuinely shocked. I did not expect to be so hyped over a shadow box, so that really caught me off guard. Also, this is super random. I'm high, what a surprise. I have no idea what I did with my Invaders in pillow. You probably don't. Look, yeah, I typically have it in the background, so I'm sure for most of you that is irrelevant. But for today, Celti is taking over. Once again, I know that's irrelevant to all of you, but for the one person that actually watches my other videos, that's what happened. I don't know where my Invaders in pillow is. I have to find. Let's see what we got. So this is the. Okay, I didn't know this was gonna be paper. I don't think I realized that, or maybe in my head, I don't know what I thought. I thought that was actually going to be a thing. That's interesting. Everything's in here in like such an interesting way. So we're going to take a bunch of this stuff. Yeah, folded poster, which is what I expected, which really sucks. They still fold their posters. I honestly was thinking, I was like, I think I'd rather have a poster that just goes across this whole thing and be like a really tiny one versus a folded poster. But get a couple of things out here all at once. Of course, the absolutely immaculate art, which of course we saw in the box there, looks fantastic. So always a nice still case to add to the edition or collection. I don't know why I said add to the edition. That looks really nice. I think that's pretty cool. I would love it if for whatever reason they knew that they were going to do the DLC and they had like an updated art on the inside or something, which I highly doubt, but that would be sick. Of course, the inside is actually the very end credits of the game, if I'm not mistaken. I've only played it once. So I played through it like one time on stream, and I played for like 6 straight hours, which was also a 420 video, go figure. And love the game, just haven't touched it since, backlog, all that good stuff. So here we go, of course, once again, ooh, did that wrong. Well, there we go with the art. Wow, I did it wrong again. This is like, it's almost like it's glued. Okay, well, it was like really, that's weird. That's so weird. The way that was folded, it was almost like it was glued. So there we go. That's the art, super creased up and stuff, but still looks nice. And then of course the main art. I'm not gonna lie, I hate that they fold their posters, so I'm never like, oh man, that's super cool. I would be if they weren't folded posters. If they just gave us the poster that did that, but you know what? That's how little I care. I'll be honest. Like they're folded posters, I'm just like, like that kind of sucks. So it's very unfortunate, but the art looks great. It's just like once they're folded, I'm just like it kills it for me. It honestly kills it for me. So moving on, and that's just the thing with all limited run games. I've had a couple other ones I did, Scott Pilgrim, and you can't really see it, but like right between Bayonetta and Aladdin, right there is like No More Heroes. So I got the No More Heroes 1 and 2 collection. Same thing. It's like, oh, I love this artwork. Just folded to hell. And it's just like, that's just how they are. But we got Shredder, old school figure, definitely cool. Once again, this will always stay in the packaging. I am not gonna play with this Shredder. I don't plan on selling it. I don't really. I mean, for this, typically limited run games, it's, I don't know who is, you're not making money. If you're trying to do limited run games as your like resell, like rare stuff business, that's not the way to go. So I don't think anyone's doing that in any regard, unless they're already mega rich, which I just don't know. There's no way it's worth it with this. But classic turtle collection, which is very cool. Original 1988 figures by Playmage Toys. It's nice. You know, for me, this wasn't really a big thing. It was like, okay, you know, that looks cool. It's not as cool as some of the other Turtles figures that I have, admittedly, because I got like all the Turtles in Time NECA figures. This is pretty sick. It's got the LRG. Oh my goodness. Wow. You can barely see the yellow, but that is a flashback. I was like, holy crap. LRG. That's crazy. I haven't seen that probably in 20 years. Like that's nuts. LRG, that's crazy. So for anyone who is like, what the F is LRG? I don't know what it stands for, but basically it's just an old video company. When they had the Turtles cartoon on VHS, it was LRG, and I'm sure they had a bunch of other like kid shows and things like that, but it was always LRG, and it was like, these are the colors. Unless they're mixed up, I mean, granted that was like 20 years ago, I could just be thinking it's something else, but I'm pretty sure it was actually LRG. No idea what it stands for, but that's definitely what it looked like. So that's actually really cool. And I thought that was neat in the first place. Like, oh, okay, that's cool. I thought what this was for, and maybe it is, but I think it's a little too, yeah, like this is too big. So for a second, I thought for sure something was actually supposed to go in here, which this is very nice. That is super thick and hardcover. I like that a lot. But yeah, this is, yeah, it's still weird. It is not at all what I thought it was. Like, I legit thought that this was like, with the Scott Pilgrim thing, they had like an actual like old school sort of Sega case. I thought that's what this was. I thought it was gonna be like I thought it was a clamshell case where the tape was gonna be inside of this, and then you take it out and it's an actual shape, at least, of a cassette, and it was a clamshell, and then you just pop that bad boy open, and that's what the game was. Speaking of clamshells, I don't know, I just have random stuff around me right now, so hold up. Toy Story. I know this is super dirty, like I just found it, just rediscovered. It still got like, I don't know, it's probably like 2002 dust on it, but this is what I was thinking. I thought we were gonna get like the actual thing and then be like, bam, Shredder's Revenge. I thought the case was gonna be in there. So this actually being cardboard is not what I thought, like at all this entire time. So that's very unfortunate. I thought it was gonna be like an actual, like I said, sort of clamshell case, and it's legit just a cardboard fold up of a cassette VHS, and you put it in the LRG cassette slip cover, and it's perforated, and I gotta do brain stuff to figure that out. I'm not doing that right now. So that's unfortunate. I like the art, but it's just like, it's not really cutting it. So that's very unfortunate, but yeah, it looks nice, but it's like, yeah, it can't even, like that. Okay, it does fit. I'm super high. All right, so that does actually fit at the very least, and I guess you could toss the cassette in there, which is, I mean, it's still kind of like randomly loosey-goosey, so still not exactly what I thought, but I guess it would be for the Steelbook and the actual PS4 game, and I still would have preferred the clamshell, like 100%. Like, even if it fit in here, like it could do the exact same thing, because that's kind of the point, is that the game in the cassette could go in here, or the game in the Steelbook, I mean, which that also doesn't make sense, because if you got a Steelbook, I mean, I guess it's a collector thing in itself, but I'm like, I would show the Steelbook with the spine. I mean, I guess it's just the spine. If I didn't show it at all, I guess there's not that much missing. It's a cooler case, but I don't know. I would love to know your thoughts on that, because for me, I'm just like, wow, we paid a decent chunk of cash, and I thought for sure, because I've seen them do it before, I thought it would just be on a much smaller scale, and it would just be like, oh, a little cassette case inside of another slip cover inside, and it would house the actual game and stuff like that. And it was like, huh, it's actually cardboard that I have to perforate myself to have like a cool retro case, which is nice. I love the LRG. Can't say it enough. That's respect. Like, it literally gave me a flashback, like, holy crap, I forgot about that. I enjoy that. A blissful blast of nostalgia. But also, this sucks, so I don't really like that too much. But all in all, I'm still enjoying this. I'm liking most of it, but that sucks. I really thought that was going to be a legit clamshell case. So that is so unfortunate from my perspective. I'm actually just going to move these off down here. Let me get those out of the way. Moving on to something cooler, the strategy guide. I think this is great. That's thick, so that's very nice. Very beautiful, vibrant colors. I guess I should show you guys. That makes sense. Obviously green on the inside, because how could you not? Super vibrant. I like that a lot. And it rotates, shows you all the characters, enemies, all that good stuff. Saw a little glimpse, yeah, the art right there, which is the actual, maybe they have a soft cover version, because I don't think I've ever seen a strategy guide that literally shows the cover on the inside. That's interesting. But I definitely, ooh, that's sick. There's everyone so far, you know. But this is cool. I definitely like this. This has like all the characters and different random like sprite motions and stuff like that. Obviously, you got to get the reference pose. So that's super cool. I think this is actually, honestly, this is, I love this already. solely for the fact that it puts the sprites in there. Like, man, that's the best sprite in the whole game right there. He's playing the Game Boy. That's the best one in the whole game. That's the best one. But these are cool. Like, it shows you all the character. Oh, there we got some hand drawn art. It has the actual character like screens and stats and all that stuff that you can read. Turtle trivia. When each character performs a super attack, an aura surrounds them matching the color they wear. Leonardo is blue, Raph is red, April is yellow, and so on. It says Raphael, I just, shorthand. So why is Casey teal when he doesn't wear that color? It would appear to be a nod to the original Playmates action figure, whose accessories were molded in a teal colored plastic. Wow, that's great. See that, man. That's the type of pointless knowledge that I really love. So check out my streams if you want to hear a bunch of pointless random facts just like that. Bunch of nerd stuff where it's like, you just won't care. Just in case you guys want to see your favorite turtles or favorite characters. The Golden Goddess, I guess. Her high flying kicks are like the craziest thing in the world. I was like, this, like, April's never been so cool. I'm gonna do that later. But yeah, this is awesome. I love seeing all the sprite work. I think that's fantastic. So that's, a million. If you know what that is, there you go. We got the soundtrack tracks composed by T-Loops. A bunch of tracks. I mean, there you go. I don't know, like, I'm not gonna read through all the tracks and everything, but there you go. So there's that. It's a record. Wow, it's not a record. It's a CD. That's probably gonna stay in the plastic just like the toys and the game itself. And now we move on to a very special case, because this was the thing that I was waiting for. I was like, okay, I know it's gonna be small. What's gonna happen with this? How is this gonna end up working? I think it plays the original trailer, which you guys can check out my initial reaction to the original trailer. I actually had my daughter in that because that was like basically 2 years ago at this point. She was tiny. So definitely check that out if you guys are interested. If I remember, I will definitely put that up as like the little information card. Also, of course, like I said, I stream the game. All that stuff will be at the end. All my random turtle videos. And I feel like I've said this the last like 4 turtle videos, and I almost have to, but it's a really good time to be a Turtles fan. The movie was good. We got the official announcement of the Last Ronin video game. They've been talking about that for a minute, but the official announcement came out. We have the Last Ronin 2 coming out, which I'm very excited to see. A whole new set of turtles. So I'm very, very excited about that. They need to do a straight up movie of the Last Ronin. They need to do all of that stuff. Every version that they can in any form of medium. They need more of the Last Ronin. So I'm very excited for all things Ninja Turtles right now. And obviously we have the game. DLC is coming out next week. By the time you guys see this, I guess technically it would be this week. It's already Sunday for me, but you guys probably won't see this till maybe Monday if I'm able to get to it. But this week we got the DLC coming out, and I'm very excited about that. I would assume that this is in no way, shape, or form actually powered on right now. Oh, it's got it. Wow, I wasn't expecting. It's got like a straight up switch. That's pretty neat. Obviously there's no power to it, so I gotta plug that up. So I will be right back once again. All right. So I had to bust up the emergency tower. I actually got this thing on my table, and I always just leave it underneath, like in case I need to plug up a controller. So I had to bust this bad boy out because the cord, it's a decent length for what you're going to be using. And here we go. Boom. Lights up. I'm assuming is probably just on. You just hit a button. That's not bad. I'm gonna get copyrighted. That's not bad. I mean, that's like 5 something p. I wouldn't call it that. You can't see that at all. I wouldn't call it 720p, but it's definitely up there. And I'm gonna probably somehow I feel like I'm gonna get copyrighted by just doing that. So that's it. That's all it does. It just plays the trailer. You turn it on and you turn it off, and it really does only play the trailer. So you can turn it on, and it'll just be like a little light. I guess if you wanted to be silly. Oh no, it does. Oh, that's interesting. So you can press start to mute it. I thought I started it by hitting start the first time, but it just eventually. Oh, I guess that was just timing. It actually has to load up. So that's what it's doing. When you turn it, when that pause happens, it's actually just loading up. So yeah, it's okay. It's about exactly what I thought. Maybe a little bit worse because, I guess I have to check it out. So I'll let that play out. Hold my finger because I'm legit like, I'm doing a review for the game itself for the thing, and then somehow you get copyrighted. But when it said it was gonna like play the trailer of the game, I was thinking it was gonna be the animated trailer, and I was like, that's really gonna be a bit cooler than just the actual action version of the the actual gameplay trailer. It's still cool, it's cool to see it, but it's like it really is tiny. Like it's like that's old school. That's like free computer at the library type stuff in high school. So that's what it looks like. I'm like, it takes you back. It's nostalgic for like all the wrong reasons, but it's not exactly what I thought, because like I said, I thought it was going to be the animated trailer, and I wish I could show you guys. Maybe I'll have to get some secondary footage, which I won't because I don't do that. But like, you don't need to, like, that's good enough. That is, boom, that was perfect representation. It's just here, and it's like, okay, and that's just gonna do it. I forgot that I could mute that, so there you go. That's the extra function. I didn't have to hold my finger over that the whole time. But yeah, so it's finally getting to that. I didn't realize that trailer was so long. I thought it was going to end way sooner, and I'm like, okay, let's see what happens. So it has ended, and it starts right over. Okay, so it's just that. It's not even both the trailers. It's just the gameplay trailer, and that's really it. And I would have preferred if it was the 2D trailer. I like the song better too, personally, although this is much longer than that trailer. But it's not like I'm gonna have this on all the time. This is one of those things, like, if you really want to have like something random and nerdy in your stream, you would have had to have bought this to get this, where it just loops, and that's really it. And so it's like, okay, I mean, no one would even be able to see. You'd have to have a camera on this thing for someone to even be able to tell what the F is happening. Like, even the screen itself is like, it hasn't fully loaded it. Like, there's a lot of artifacting to it, and that feels weird, where it's just like, it could, like, there's no way like this tiny screen could just look better. I mean, you know, I guess there's probably a lot to ask for this, but at the same time, the amount they charge is like, it feels like it balances out a little bit. It's cool, but it ain't much. So we're gonna end with that, and I'm pretty sure that was the last thing, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that was everything. So, all in all, I think this was good, but it was disappointing in ways I wasn't anticipating. This was the thing I was already like, we'll see how it goes. Obviously, Steelbook is always great. Inside is simple. I wish they had a custom manual. That would have been pretty sick too. Especially considering it's the Radical Edition. It would be cool if the game itself well, I guess it would be in the actual case, so I guess that's on me. But yeah, the thing with the cassette, I would say, is my least favorite part about it, because I legit thought it was just gonna be like an actual case. Maybe I'm stupid for thinking that, but I don't think they put anywhere that it was just gonna be like straight up cardboard or anything like that. So I'm missing something. Hold up, I skipped over something. I'm supposed to have I'm missing like 2 things. Hold up, I gotta search now, because I think I'm missing, based on this, I am missing the I'm literally reading it. The Pizza Hut personal pizza thing, and the little sprites or whatever they're supposed to be. I guess they would just be magnets or whatever. Let me check. So upon watching other people's reviews, the stuff I thought I was missing is sealed nicely right in here. So the Pizza Hut thing, it's in here. The stickers, they are in here. I don't know why they did that. That was a terrible idea to do it that way. I don't think they should have done that in literally any way, shape, or form. The booklet being in here, that I kind of figured, because it was like, oh, you know, like, it's probably going to be in there. It kind of sucks to put it in there, because once again, that's like, the whole thing is like not, you know, cutting the bad boy open, so I will like never see those things. I mean, let's be honest. It's one of those things when you collect something, especially this. I literally bought the game already on PC knowing that I wasn't going to open this, but at the same time, it would be nice to see those stickers. Of course, you can watch other reviews where people did pop the thing open. For me, it's just like, well, I might as well just leave it sealed. I wasn't going to do much with the stickers anyway. I was never going to use that personal pan pizza thing, even though you can. I wasn't actually going to. So it's unfortunate that they did it that way. I don't think they should have, because it just makes it where you, even if you just randomly made that decision, at the very least, just put the actual game booklet in there. Don't put like the personal pan pizza thing in there, as well as the stickers. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all when there's so much space. Like, this is in there, and this thing is in there. This thing, technically this was the back of the shadow box. I was like, there's a bunch of cardboard. I'm still this for sure. So I'm gonna go through it. Lots of thoughts, obviously. Like, that really annoyed me, because I'm like, well, this isn't really up to snuff. I think is honestly the best way to put it. Like, I really do not believe that this was up to snuff the way it should have been. I also just realized I had my headphones on this entire time, so that was, you know, random cut, because I had to watch the videos. I got so comfortable I forgot. So yeah, like, going through everything that's here, not counting the poster, because that's automatic, where it's just like, it looks great, but it's creases. It's not for me. I think it's okay. I'm like right down the middle, and there's stuff that's cool, there's stuff that's not so cool with these, and then there's stuff that's just great. Like 100%. Oh, that's actually pretty bit. I thought that was like straight up glass. That's actually just plastic. So be careful with that. Like if you press on it, it's not actually glass. It's completely plastic on the front. It's kind of just glued on there. Really nice, I'm sure, nice and secure. Also, watch for fingerprints. But this 100% the best thing. Like 100% the best thing that there is in this package. It's also thin. You can kind of see. I don't know if it'll show. Oh, you can see it. You can like see the outline of it and stuff. It's very thin. But I don't think anybody would be putting a bunch of pressure on the shadow box anyway. But 100% my favorite thing in the entire box. Like I love the sprite work for the game in general. I think it's great. And it's just cool. Like it's just really nice to have them on like the separate planes. So it was like 2 planes of plastic, so to speak. And then the actual background has their shadows that match with the figures being in the air and stuff. And it's like, that's just really cool. So I absolutely love that 100%. That is my favorite thing about the Radical Edition is definitely that. My least favorite, actually, it's funny. I don't know if, actually, no, this would be my least favorite. This is worse than them putting the stuff in here. These are the 2 worst things, personally speaking. And it's more of a choice than anything else. It's not that it was bad that they put this in here, although I do wish that they made a way, because it's funny, they did it on Twitter, and I was like, okay, so it showed them take the game, and I was like, so that looks like it's perforated. Like it looked like they cut it open, and then you basically fold it and kind of, it'll always like kind of bend up a little bit, and they kind of could just cut the video after that, so they didn't actually show the person put it back. And I'm like, I don't think you can really open it and it looks pristine. I think what they should have done is maybe just have like, I don't know, something on the bottom where you could just slide it up or slide it down, or I mean, it would be a bit of extra work, which admittedly, I mean, it would be a lot cooler if they did it where it was like maybe like a specialized version of one of these, so it wasn't like original blister packaging, but if they made like almost like a sturdy version and it was maybe like magnetic. I'm like saying just ridiculous nerdy stuff, but it was like, what if it was like magnetic, and so like it was almost like a special design version of blister packaging, so it wasn't actual blister packaging where it's like, hey, it's new in the blister. It's like a just an upgraded version of it, and it's like just a magnetic seal, and you can like take it off and just slap it back on. Like you just put the game in there and then boom, and then at the very least it looks sealed, like it's always in there if you just like slide it in the case or something like that. And even if it was super cheap, I know magnets and expenses and stuff, but I feel like they definitely could have found a way to just make it where it's just like a slide in thing, like maybe just one side is just cut open or something. Like I don't know how that would really work in blister packaging or whatever, but I think the illusion of it would be worth it for people to be able to take it out, especially considering they made the decision to put stuff in here that if you decide, well, like a lot of people who are collecting this, and much like myself, deciding not to really open it because it's not like a way, it's just unsealed. It's not like you open a hatch. It's legit, you have to cut it open to get it out. So definitely a weird decision to make it so specific where it's the collector way to do it, and then be like, you know what, we're also going to put some of the extra stuff in here, so you just will never even be able to see it unless you decide to cut this open, which is an interesting conundrum. Very first world nerd problem there. But at the same time, it's one of those things where you're not really going to look at the stickers that much. You collect it for like the couple of things that really catch your eye, and it's 100% going to be the shadow box. This will be somewhere unplugged. I'm rearranging some of my nerd shelves. You guys don't see like 3/4, you just see that one, but like the one over there is probably going to end up being like my turtle shrine at the top, and so I got some extra additions to throw up there, so that'll be nice. I have no idea. I might leave this in the box until I get a different place, and then I might actually put it up on the wall, because I still have a bunch of sealed the NECA figures I never actually opened up. So I'm deciding if I'm going to be that type of nerd. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure, but all in all, I think it's okay. Of course, fantastic to get this. Would have been really cool if they did physical and a digital, where you could just get like a code to download like all the songs as well. That would be sick. I feel like everyone should always do that. If they give you the physical version, they should just have like a code in there, and you just go to a site and it's like, this site will be up until like 2099. That's what they always say. And then you can like download it for free, and that's just across the board. I feel like that's always really cool if they do that. Obviously more expensive, but at the same time, that's so cheap compared to every like how much this stuff really costs versus what we pay. Like everything's a markup, but it's like, let's face it, when it comes to limited run games, it's a heck of a markup. And especially for this one, like, why wasn't this clamshell? That still blows my mind. Like even if it wasn't clamshell, just something more than like you actually have to fold it up yourself. It's just like, wow, that kind of sucks, because the whole point is that the game already goes in there. it's weird. It feels super weird. Like the steel case and the physical game both have to go into the packaging. I don't even know what you do if you have the Switch version, because I think it's still like the regular size. But, you know, I think these are still regular size, but the Switch cases are a little bit thinner, unless they made them wide for that one maybe. But that one is just like, wow, like, love the LRG flashback. That's fantastic. But this is not what I was expecting, where it's like, hey, fold it yourself. And not just fold it, like it has to be perforated. It's like, what the heck? Because I guess the plan is that you would actually enclose the games in it. That makes even less sense. I didn't realize that when I was looking. I didn't think about that. But this fully closes. So you'd put the games in this and then put this in here. And then you take this out and then you open it up and then you would take the steelbook or the video game out. And that just seems like a whole lot of extra that no one would ever do. Like I would just fold it up so that this goes in here just to keep it sturdy and it doesn't fall over. So at some point I'll probably do that and it'll literally just look like a VHS standing up there, and that'll be the only reason I actually display it, because I'm not going to put the steelbook in there because I'm going to put that with my steelbooks, and I can't, well, I mean obviously I could, but I'm not going to take this out anyway, and the steelbook still wouldn't go in there, so it makes it pointless. Plus that would just be extra work even if you did that, because you'd have to cut this for it to fit in here if you wanted to just leave it like completely open where it literally is just a slip cover and you just pull it off. This actually has to fold inward and be closed. So you have to like obviously it's a minute thing to have to like open and close it, but it's just like, that's just a weird convenience. Like just make it open at the bottom and just make it this, and just make this clamshell or something, just make it solid, like anything. So that does kind of bug me. I was really looking for, you know, got my hopes up because I was like, oh, they've done clamshell before. Check out my Scott Pilgrim thing. That I think was absolutely amazing. Like they knocked that one out of the park. It has like a little concert when you open it up. The strategy guide looks cool. It comes with drumsticks. It's got like everything. It has a Sega, like actual like full-on Sega case where other stuff goes inside the case. You can save space, just do this and put the game in there, and then redesign this to make it where you can pop it in and out and it still looks new. That's what they should have gone with. The game and the steelbook should have already been in this, which could have been both if they wanted to. If they wanted to make this clamshell, like they totally could have. That would have been a cool way to do it. The clamshell has its own slip cover. Sure, you do that, and then you just pop it open. It's not like I have to unfold a piece of cardboard. That's a weird way to do that. So the game and the steelbook should have been in this, which should have been clamshell, and then this should have just been like a slip case that just goes over a clamshell, and that's it. Extra little piece of art, same thing front and back. You pop this, you slip it off, and then it just looks like a normal cassette, and that's it. And that's all it has to be. But still definitely should have been like a clamshell case, because this is just like dumb. Like it just makes no sense, especially considering you'll probably put the steelbook with your other steelbooks anyway, and also the game comes in blister packaging, which most people are not going to open anyway. So it really defeats the purpose of even doing it this way, when that, like, it just, like, every calculation is just like, well, it feels like the worst way to even display the game is to not have the steelbook actually show, because you put it in here, and then you have to cut the game out of the box to also put it in here, and it's just like, neither of those seem like the best way to even display it. So it's gonna look like a cassette, and that's about it. And that's just disappointing. Like it, man, one in clamshell. So that's disappointing. Them putting the things inside the case, that's disappointing. You know, the manual, that was one thing. It was like, you know, hey, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Granted, and this is just me saying this, considering once again what we pay and the point of being like, hey, let's make a deluxe edition for the people that want it. We should find a way to make it like the best way possible. If someone's gonna open it, they're gonna get the manual anyway. So just put the manual in the actual steelbook. That way, if people don't open it, just like everything else that shouldn't be in there, it should literally just be the game. And then everything else should have been in the steelbook, since the steelbook is not sealed. That's exactly what they should have done. And that just dawned on me. So now I'm really annoyed, because that's a very simple thing to do. Because I even thought that, where I was like, oh, there's no manual. And then I'm like, oh, it's sealed in there. I thought that in the middle of unboxing the stuff, they should have been like, oh, what if we just put all of the stuff in case people genuinely don't want to open it? Because there are a buttload of people that bought this and it's like, I'm gonna wait nearly 2 years, you know, just to be able to play the game. I'm gonna spend the $300, but I'm not gonna spend like the extra, like it was like $30 when the game came out. So it was like, most people that get this have the game, you know, and a lot of people aren't gonna open it. Everything that is in here right now, heck, including the CD, honestly, they could have literally put everything in here except for this cover. I'm sure that cover is reversible too. They literally could have put everything that's in here right in the steelbook, and it would have been absolutely perfect. And I don't think it's that crazy, considering I just came up with that idea while doing this. I don't think it's crazy to have asked, couldn't they have just done that from the beginning? And then there's not even a reason to open this, because No one cares that you don't open the case. Like, you get to the case to get to the game or to get to the manual and stuff like that, because there's probably extra stuff in here, which there shouldn't be. Every single thing in this should have just been in the steelbook, because it has the room to do it, and it has the actual hooks for the manual, has a spot for the CD. So 100%, manual should have been right here, the game should have been right here, the sticker should have been right here, and the Pizza Hut coupon should have been right there. So that is disappointing as far as, I guess that would be like logistics and design, however you, whatever part that would fall under. So that's very disappointing, because I just figured that out just now, and it's like, oh, they literally could have just done that and there would be no reason to ever open the case. The game's already there. It's like, oh, I can leave this in blister packaging. Everyone would be able to do that, and you wouldn't have to question it. It's like, if you wanted to, sure, but ultimately, why? Like, what point would there be if you're just opening an empty case? And like, well, everything can just sit in here then. If you don't need to look at it, it goes right in here. So having just thought of that on the fly, that's disappointing. That 100%, that is now the most disappointing thing. Everything could have just been in here, and none of the blister box issues would even matter. It could be perforated, it could be not perforated. It could literally be like a regular one where it's just straight up actually sealed, and you have to like straight up rip it open. Because once again, even with it being perforated, if everything was in here, I think most people wouldn't bother opening it anyway, unless they really felt like they just had to get to, the reversible cover. And I guess, well, yeah, like everything's on the box, so you know exactly if you got everything that's supposed to be in there. So definitely disappointing in that regard, because I really don't plan on opening this, but it's one of those things where it's like, that shouldn't be an issue anyway, because it all should have just been in the steelbook, 100%. So that's disappointing, and I think the figure's cool. I didn't really care about that anyway. Clamshell thing, ultimate disappointment, if I'm being completely honest, minus the actual logistics of where everything should have been. But the shadow box, this is like the dude where it's like the team really lost, but like this kid, like he's going places. Like this is the one. This right here, and the steelbook's great too. The steelbook's always great, but this is the one. This is the MVP of the really crappy team, and it's like, you guys are kind of trash. You guys are pretty cool. You get some work in, you're like, there's some options there, but the rest of this is kind of just like, but right here with my greasy fingerprints, MVP 100%. So those are my thoughts. Obviously, I'm not really super hyped on it. We waited a super long time for it, and it's just basic logistics stuff where it's like, wow, that's disappointing that they're a company that literally does this stuff, and yet we're at a point where they're like, we're gonna do blister packaging, cool, but we're gonna make it where if you open it, it's open. We're not gonna just make it where it's like it just looks that way, it's sealed, magnetic, or anything. Like, it's just a little, like, it could be like a straight up old not old, it's I guess not really old, but like a picture frame where you just like pull little things off and just twist the tabs or something like that. Anything like that. They could have done anything, but they just went, we're gonna make it perforated, so you have to open it if you want to see what's inside, when we could have put everything in the steelbook instead. Like, they're a company that does this. Also, mine is dented, and that does kind of annoy me even more now. It wasn't an issue before, but then it's like, oh, there's dented, but also still can't open it because it'll look even worse. So it's very unfortunate. I really do wish that this played the animated opening, because that is way better than just the actual gameplay trailer. I like that song better. It's 2D animation and it looks really, really good. So I really wish that's what played, or both of them. If it just even if it started with the gameplay trailer and then it went to the opening of the game and just cycled through the two of those, that would be great. Or if you could just hit a button, like this is the only button that even works. So if like this button actually went down and you could switch through the videos, and then you have your mute button and basically your next button, that would have been really cool. I think that definitely would have been a cool thing that they could have added. I mean, like, maybe just literally have like a couple. They could have put anything. Like, you can put the smallest flash drive in here, and then it's like, boom, you're playing like 100 songs. Like they could have literally done that, and it's like, hey, here's basically a jukebox, and you play all the songs. Might be crappy audio. Admittedly, I don't think anyone would do that anyway, but it would certainly be a much more dynamic feature to have, where it's like, what if they had all the music on there, and you could like cycle through stuff, or at least 2 videos. Or at least the one video that's better than just the gameplay video. Like, there's a couple of ways that things could have gone, and it's just like, it's weird. Like, there's just things, like I said, I'm just opening this myself, and it's just like, I instantly see the way things could go. I wasn't expecting to ramble on this, so I would love to know your thoughts and how you guys feel, because this has nothing to do with me being high. This is just like how I normally rant, when it's like, wow, like I like instantaneously figured out how this could have been better, and that's very unfortunate. That's just an unfortunate way to do it. So hopefully, I mean, I don't know what the next game will be that I will even remotely care about. It's super rare that I do this, and this was of course a Turtles thing. I've only gotten 3 things from limited run games, and that was Scott Pilgrim, which hadn't been out for 10 effing years, so it was like, yeah, I'll get like the super mega version of that. I even bought the vinyl when that came out. And then No More Heroes 1 and 2 for the Switch, and it's like, oh, I love those games, and there ain't a lot of No More Heroes merch. You gotta grab that stuff when you can. So I had no choice. I was like, I'm not gonna have another chance to do that. It's No More Heroes, unfortunately, even with 3 coming out. But this, I would actually say, is definitely the most disappointing one, and that really sucks because this isn't like the Turtles isn't my top 5 franchises of my life. You know, like that. I wouldn't have my actual copy of Turtles in Time if I didn't give a crap about the Turtles and loving this game so much. So it is very disappointing. Love the game, by the way. I don't know if I actually said that, but the game itself, absolutely perfect. I cannot wait for the DLC to come out. Super excited for that. Karai, Usagi Yojimbo, whatever that weird thing is where you can turn into the villains and play a Shredder for a little bit. I'm just hyped. All of that I'm very excited for. But this is very disappointing, especially for the amount of time it took and the amount of time that they had, where this doesn't seem, especially compared to the other ones, especially if you go like the Scott Pilgrim one, it's literally like you open a briefcase and music and lights start flashing and they play the song, and it's an actual like cardboard cutout stand-up thing that plays for like 30 seconds and it actually plays like a mini concert. That's way more logistically crazy than any of this by like miles. And it's like, all right, you know, great blister packaging, like an actual replica toy. And then that really feels like it. And obviously, you know, MVP of the game, art box, shadow box. But it's just like, this could have been better. I mean, you can't go wrong. Like, Steelbook is going to be Steelbook. It looks really good. Like, the art just looks great for the game, so that's fantastic. Soundtrack is just fantastic. Once again, I just think everyone should always do, if you get physical, you should always get digital when it comes to music. Like, I feel like it's not crazy to ask for that, because you only get physical when it's like a super crazy version. Like, they should totally just give you digital. And that's, like I said, that's literally been a thing for like years at this point, and I've always thought that, like, why can't they just do both? Like, they gave you physical, but we can't just get like a super quick download code too for like the penny per person it costs you to do that. So, you know, that sort of thing. The replicas are nice, music is cool. I'm also never going to open this, but I also just really like the art on that, and I'll, you know, you can go online and find the songs. So I think that looks really cool. But it's definitely like 3 of the things I think look really nice, and the other things are just kind of like, they're okay. And this is only disappointing because of the fact that I would literally have to pop it open just to see the other stuff that I was expecting to see. Like, even if I was just going to look at it once and like be like, oh, look at this art book, same thing, I would like to see it because it's different art based on, you know, the little bit of stuff I saw in the reviews. So yeah, that's unfortunately disappointing. I like the art that we actually get. Like, I really do love I think I just love the sprite work. I think I'm just a sucker for it because it looks so good. So it's the same thing on the back. I actually just genuinely like looking at all of that. So I'm like, man, I really like the packaging because it just looks really nice. It's actually like the old school style. So like, I can't hate it when I look at the actual package, and then I'm just like, but there's the game. And they decided to put everything in there. Like, it's wrapped in the plastic and all this stuff. And it's like, also you got like 2 extra things in there, 3 extra things if you count the actual art book. So art book, pizza, and then the stickers, which is like 3 sets of 2. So it's like the Turtles. Maybe it was 2. So 1, 2, 3. Maybe there were 3 because I think at that point they, you know, it's probably like so early they weren't even revealing Casey. So you get like 3 sets of stickers, 2 characters a piece, and it's like, okay, well, that's still in there. Don't know what I would have put them on. Okay, it is what it is. So I would love to know your thoughts. Obviously, I'm like unfortunately disappointed with it. MVP. Everybody else is okay. So yeah, that's unfortunate. The game's absolutely amazing, but it's like I got some extra stuff to put for my little turtle, my mini turtle shrine, but it's nothing that's like absolutely spectacular except for this. Everything else is like, you know, I'll sit this somewhere, and at some point I'll lose this cord, and I'll just have a USB-C cord from like a million other things, and that's how I'll power it. Like, I won't even have that cord forever. So, you know, it's unfortunate. If I had to rank it, I would put it, if I was doing like a 5 out of 5, I'd probably give it a 3. I think I'd give it like a 2.5. I don't know. That's cool enough alone, honestly, to at least give me a 3. I genuinely think this actually looks so good, and I don't hate these in any way. I feel like I can at least give it a 3. Just for these 3 things, it actually gets a 3. But the decisions that are so basic when it comes to just put this stuff in the steelbook, so then it eliminates that entire conundrum or anything of having to ever open the case, because it's like all you're gonna have is a slip cover or the reverse cover, which I guess watch another unboxing for that. But Yeah, it's interesting. It's so unfortunate. It always sucks when it's just like, wow, it's like you're kind of right there. And you know, the toy thing, that was just never my thing. So that's actually a great addition. I shouldn't really count this against it. That's just a personal thing. So that was already kind of like out a little bit anyway. So even if I don't count that, the negative logistics on all of this, that just really bugs me, because there's no way that should have been an issue where they're just like, well, what if we just put all the stuff in there? Like at any point, like how did no one ever have that idea to just be like, well, let's just put all of that just in that, because the whole point is like doing a super sealed, you know, forever sealed collector's edition of a special thing. Just put all the stuff you'd want to see just right there. The game's in there. It has the clips, it has the little CD holder spot. That was a great sentence structure, you know, CD holder spot. So that's very unfortunate. The logistics are really what bring it down in like every capacity. It's just like, wow, that's just annoying. But those are my thoughts on it. Obviously super duper negative for the most part, at least. Like, I can't tell you how much I would love to see someone customize this and just one little strip right at the bottom, a not too powerful light. I just feel like it will work, even if, especially if it could change colors and you could just do silly stuff. That'd be sick. But yeah, I hate to rag on it, but at the same time, it didn't cost $20. It cost like $200 or something like that from like 2 years ago at this point. So yeah, and just the fact that when I saw the box and it was so small, I knew I was gonna be disappointed. But even in this small package, it totally could have worked. And I think the logistics is what brings it down. It should have just been the intro. That's another thing. It was like, there's no way they're just like, the gameplay trailer is totally the best. When they could have put both anyway. That's the other thing. It's like, there's no reason they couldn't have put both. 100%. You can't tell me they have like 1 megabyte of storage on whatever itty bitty memory card is in here. I'm like, there's no possible way that all they could do was one video. I don't believe it. And it's crappy quality too. Like, it really is. So it's just like, and that, you know, of course that's the itty bitty little screen is, you know, it's just how it is. But it's just like, yeah, that does kind of suck. That's unfortunate. But we'll love to know your thoughts. I'm gonna sit on this. I'm definitely gonna watch other people's because they do open it up, and I'm like, well, at the very least, I'm gonna check it out. But thanks for checking this out. I know it was rambling and super long, and especially with all the cuts. Like, my actual recording is at nearly an hour because I was running around grabbing stuff and having to look and be like, am I crazy, or did they just not send my stuff? Just to find a review where they're like, yeah, all the stuff is actually in the sealed game that you have to pop open. It's like, that's not really a good way to do that when there are so many other places that the stuff could have fit. But that's how it is. We'd love to know your thoughts. Check out my other turtle stuff. It's way more happy, so definitely check that out if you guys are interested. I would, of course, greatly appreciate it. But of course, would love to know your thoughts on all of these things. If you could rank every single item in here, what would it be? You know, if you wanted to do just through 5, obviously, this is a million out of 5. This is just, it's so beautiful. Steelbooks are always just good. That's just how it is. I guess I would just have to instantly give it, like, maybe if I'm actually going on the art, maybe like a 7 or 8, because I do like that art, and it's just good. A soundtrack that I'll never actually open, I'll just give it a 5. If I'm doing the soundtrack itself, I'd probably give it like a 7 or 8. I really only remember the song with lyrics. If being totally honest, I was also high the whole time, so I don't really remember much. That's just how it is. I'm super biased because it has all the sprite work. I want to give this like a 6 or a 7, and that's, I guess if I'm going just on the art and not the logistics, I want to give it like a 7. Like, that just looks really good. I'm a sucker for the sprite work, and like, it's the ultimate bias. Every time I look at the back, I'm like, this is really nice, and then I'm like, logistics though, that's a 2, and it makes me really upset because I'm like, it looks good. It has all the characters. It's got a bunch of stuff you can read, so you know, for people who are literate, it's fantastic. This is nice. It was never for me anyway. I'll give it like a 3, solely for the fact that I knew that this is what it was going to be. I barely even count this against the case as a whole. I mean, heck, it's Shredder, so hey, it automatically gets at least 1 point for that because it's just Shredder. 0. I'm annoyed. I'm mad about. I'll give it 1 point. I'll give it 3 points. I'll give it a point per letter. LRG, it gets 3 points just for that. Nostalgia, I'll take it. But I'm super pissed about that. That and the logistics, those are my things. So 2. That's how disappointed I am in that. That gets a 2. We'd love to know your thoughts, so please put them down in the comment section below. Check out my other stuff, like I said. Much higher spirits. And that's all I can really say about that. So definitely check out my other stuff if you guys are interested. I would greatly appreciate it. So please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.
You hungry? I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. You hungry? Yeah, I'm hungry. Like I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Like I'm Shaggy. Man, I'm hungry. Man, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Yeah, man. You hungry? Yeah, I'm hungry.